And once they make that transformation, that is going to move them on up, I would say, the ministry levels. And we tell Stephen and Rebecca we want them to be ministry leaders in this area. Write down everything that you can remember of how you felt at certain particular points. Write down how you helped, how you found help. Write these things down because they will be useful to another couple that's going to be following you. This is my plan. I hope to get it in place with the apartment situation. Right now we're renting the apartment. The church is subsidizing a certain amount of the expenditures for the apartment, but they are accountable for a portion which we feel is reasonable for them to contribute, and as a result of that, it's a partnership. Well, once this family gets up and going, I'd like to move another family in that apartment and to continue that work. And so it is a way to utilize, I believe, the Lord's money as being good stewards of it, but also getting results out of the benevolent ministry. I did do guidelines and procedures for our benevolent ministry as far as financial help is concerned. Most of the times when we talk about financial help, we look at it from a Band-Aid perspective. We're going to take care of the needs immediately, and then, what's going to happen next week, they're going to show up with another issue. Next week, they're going to show up with another issue, and it's going to continue along those lines. So instead of doing a Band-Aid approach, we want to do a long-term approach to it. And so we set out the purpose of our benevolent ministry, the scope, which is it is designed to reach Christians within our church, Christians outside the local congregation who are not in regular attendance, and those who are not Christians. And we intend to supplement existing channels of help rather than to replace them. And help will take the forms of financial, spiritual counseling, and material aid. And we talk about the assistance that we would render to widows, cited in Acts chapter 6, good record keeping, emergency assistance in specific cases, non-emergency cases, the screening of how to do this, ongoing cases, funding for the work, and networking through our church members. For instance, Stephen needed a haircut. And so I called one of our members who had gone to cosmetology school, and I said, I've got you a guinea pig. Come cut his hair. And so she showed up at the building and cut Stephen's hair. We have a dentist there. And the dentist, Stephen has, see, it just goes on. Stephen had a impacted wisdom tooth that was cracked. And it was killing him. Just killing him. And the day that it was like 20 degrees, he was outside outside doing landscaping, and it was just killing him. And so we use our members that way. Also, mentioning he worked for, he now is employed by one of our members who owns a landscaping business on a temporary basis, and so he works for him temporarily as he's looking for more permanent full-time work. And we've got another member who is assisting in him looking for permanent full-time work. So the scale that we have, we're working through it. And we're trying to get these teams in place. It's a brand new field that we're going into, and our efforts along those lines is almost uncharted territories, so to speak. So are there any questions or comments or anything that you specifically would like to address? No. Yes. Okay. Oh, enough is enough. I let the benevolent person tell me when enough is enough, because I hound them to death for study. And the time that they say no is the time that we say, let's go. You know? I call them. And then if we get a call back to the building that they need further assistance, I'd say, you know, we are not a governmental agency. We are here to help first and foremost with your spiritual needs. And it has become apparent that you're not interested in the same things that we're interested in. And when you are ready to transform your way of living, then give us a call. And usually we do not hear back from them. So, and even at the very front, when they ask for assistance, I told a young man, Matthew, who said that his power bill was going to be cut off today if we didn't assist him. I said, Matthew, are you ready to transform your life? And he wouldn't answer me. I said, it doesn't matter if, I said, you can go up and down this street and you can find a church that'll pay your power bill. I said, but we're not in that business. We're in the business of sharing the gospel with you. And as a byproduct of sharing the gospel with you, we will give you the tools necessary to help yourself out of your situation. But you have got to first commit your life to following the Scripture. And I'm here to help you in teaching God's will to you. And you hadn't heard back from him. So, in the same way with the Thanks Project, we call them and we call them and we call them until they move or they say, just stop calling me. And when they get to that point, then we know that we might need to move on to another family on our list in their help. But of course, we still keep their names, because there may be something in their lives that change along the way that makes them receptive to the teaching of the gospel. So, okay, and it ties in with what the benevolent ministry is all about. So, what else? Thoughts or concerns? Let's not look at it as a us versus them situation. Many churches set up their benevolent programs to say, okay, this is what we'll do for those inside the church, and what we'll do for those outside the church is we'll give them a gift certificate to the local grocery store and a sack of groceries, and that's it. What you're doing is you're giving, you're treating all non-members as transients when you do that. And not all non-members are transients in situations. So you have to have a leeway, kind of a bridge between the two. That's why we call it emergency help. It's the ability for a minister to have to stand in front of somebody and say, I can commit, based upon your circumstances, I can commit this amount of money to assist you. And we topped it out at $200. A minister has the ability to talk to someone and go ahead and commit up to $200 to that person if they see that person is good soil.